the weekly trail report, presented by the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis.
Hi, I am Ravi Toin, and I am the Outdoor Club Director of Activities. Each week, we bring you information on trail conditions, events, and activities. Here is Teresa.
Good morning, everyone. This is Teresa, the Secretary of the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis. Here are the upcoming activities. Join Chip for a beginner's hike on Sunday, March 31st at 1 p.m. Meet at Brewer's Reservoir, parking lots 4 and 5. The hike will be approximately 2 miles long and will last an hour to an hour and a half. Follow Ravi on the North Hike on Sunday, April 7th at 1 p.m. Meet at the Old Caretaker's House, 220 Academy Avenue in Sparrowbush. This is considered to be a moderate hike, approximately 4 miles long, lasting 2 hours. For more information, visit our website at ocopj.org.
Hi, this is Valerie. Here are the upcoming events. This Saturday, March 30th, we have the Snowball's Chance Poker Run with a 9 a.m. registration at the Upfront Gallery, 31 Front Street, Port Jervis, with a start time at 10 a.m. You can also register online at bikereg.com and search for Snowball's Chance. The next event is Wednesday, April 3rd. We'll be starting up our We Dig Wednesdays with Adam Hubbard. The location will be announced over the weekend at ocopj.org. And lastly, on Saturday, April 6th at 8 a.m., we have our Trails Get Cleaned, We Get Dirty trail maintenance located at the Elks Brox parking lot number 2. And for more information about that, you can visit our website at ocopj.org.
Thank you, Valerie. Currently, conditions on the trails are generally dry, but susceptible to spring weather.
Hey, it's Megan Crawford, and I'm here to tell you all about Snowball's Chance, which is happening this Saturday, March 30th at 10 a.m. in downtown Port Jervis. What? You haven't registered yet? Come on, go to bikereg.com and search Snowball's Chance. This year, Snowball's Chance is a poker run, which means that each rider will need to use their map to hit 4 checkpoints within the park and retrieve their playing card. Each rider will be given their 5th card as they cross the finish line in front of Upfront Art Gallery downtown. What I love about Snowball's Chance is that it's not a race. I repeat, it is not a race, which means I get to ride with my friends at my own pace on the trails that I choose, as long as I hit all 4 checkpoints within the park to get my card. All the proceeds from this event are donated to the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis. Snowball's Chance starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning with a police lead-out, which means that riders will be led to the edge of the Watershed Park. The ride will finish in front of the Upfront Art Gallery downtown. So come on, what are you waiting for? Go to bikereg.com and search Snowball's Chance.
The Upfront Gallery is the region's premier art gallery. Owners Debbie and Gordon showcase local and regional talent with galas and exhibitions throughout the year. At Upfront Gallery, there's always something going on. From paintings to photographs, sculptures, and more, the Upfront Gallery is the place to see and be seen. Upfront Gallery also hosts private events and cocktail parties. Book your next event with Debbie today. Give her a call, 845-754-5000. Joining me now is Dave King, owner-operator of a company called DirtSculpt out of Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Great, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm glad to have you here. Dave, we brought you in all the way from Pennsylvania, not just for your good looks and your charm, but you're here for a very special reason, and that is to talk about what your company does and what your company is going to be doing here in Port Jervis.
Yeah, we're coming in this spring to build a paved pump track.
A paved pump track. Now, for some of our listeners and viewers that may not be familiar, let's talk about the basics. What exactly is a pump track?
Pump track is pretty much a series of berms and rollers. The basic idea is that you just drop in and you use your momentum like pump the rollers to get around all the turns and everything. You don't really pedal. It's like a skill building kind of track. But for once you get used to riding and once you're actually good at riding, then you can start actually like ripping around the track, going very fast, like making doubles, transferring from basically the way that we design them. It's a beginner, like to the untrained eye, it looks like a beginner track. But then once an advanced rider gets on it, he can transfer and do a bunch of different lines and really like explore the course.
And we're going to be building this pump track here in Riverside Park region of Port Jervis,
Yep.
which is down by the Delaware River.
Yep.
And so for people in Port Jervis who have mountain bikes, kids who have bikes, this is an opportunity for them to learn how to ride on a trail type situation before they head up to the 45 miles of trails we have.
Yeah, correct. So basically, when you're riding mountain bikes or BMX or any bike really, like, and if you don't have control, it can be dangerous. This way, it's like a controlled area. It's it's going to be down by the river. It's like all on flat ground. So primarily, they're going to learn bike control, and that's really where it all starts. Once you have bike control, you can pretty much do whatever, you know.
So this is a great way for people to get used to, riding their bikes, understand, how the rollers and bumps work, so that when they do transition up onto the trails, they'll have a lot more fun.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like once you get off the sidewalk, where do you go? You know what I mean? You can't just go onto a mountainside and just hope for the best. So this is going to be that transition. But also, it's just good exercise. You don't have time to do a crazy long ride. You can still get a half hour at the pump track and get a great workout, really.
Now, you didn't come with a shovel or a backhoe today, but you do come with a world of experience. Tell us a little bit about your company, DirtSculpt.
So DirtSculpt is our 10th year in business, which is pretty crazy considering like I've always just been like, a laborer on most projects, but I've been building professionally since 98.
Oh, wow.
So and a lifelong builder of BMX trails at home, just building for free, just for fun, But then it started to turn into a career based on my roommates. They were doing the X Games jumps, and then once the courses got bigger, they needed more people, and then that's where I came in. So that my first job was at Woodward Camp in Central PA, building a beginner like dirt jumps, and then all of a sudden the next year I was building the BMX downhill for X Games.
Really?
Like thrown into a front end loader and here are the keys, like let's build this track. So I learned the right way, like you had to figure it out on your own. There was no like class or course. So I was just right in there. And then ever since then I've been doing, major events for BMX. And then, years gone by and then started doing mountain bike stuff. We all of us started riding mountain bikes too. So we ride BMX mountain bikes. We pretty much ride everything. And now we build everything. So it's pretty awesome.
And you're building these all around the country.
Yeah, we've done work all around the world. So, event and bike park stuff. So
let's talk about that event versus bike park stuff. What's the difference?
An event's basically typically a pro event we build temporarily for a contest or some sort of reason for a gathering. Like we just got back from Florida, did an event called Swamp Fest. It actually happens on the 30th of March, but we did the build early just so it's like all done. But we built a BMX dirt course for his event for my friend Trey Jones. And so it's temporary, but it's like, 3,000 people will most likely be at that.
Wow.
And it's more like a jam, just like a gathering for like a winter get together. But then we do the X Games too. So like that's our big event.
Now, X Games, I know a lot of people know what the X Games are. Some people may not.
Yeah. X Games is ESPN. It's their extreme sports event. So it's like moto, BMX, skateboarding, and we build and design the BMX dirt course.
This is the big time. We're talking super
TV,
pro.
This is like top of the line, best in the world. Yeah.
So you go from ESPN to being on the Outdoor Club show.
Yep, exactly.
And it's one and the same, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So typically, then the bike park side of it is, permanent stuff that like parks are getting, parks departments or, stuff like you guys are doing. We're building permanent things in towns for kids to ride, and you never know. One day they may be in X Games or some pro event based on that they start it in their hometown park.
Now, we're getting ready to drop shovels and make this happen here in Port Jervis. But for people who are watching today, people who are listening online, how can they go online and find out maybe some of the pictures of some of the parks that you've built all around the country?
You could go to my website, just DirtSculpt.com. Actually updating it really soon because I'm a slacker with that.
Well, you're
But-
too busy being on the X Games.
Yeah, exactly. And our Instagram, just the DirtSculpt Instagram, and mine is DirtSculpt Dave.
DirtSculpt Dave, I like it.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Thank you. So yeah, all the pictures and photos are on there, and you could just search it online, pretty much.
Let's talk about in the region. If people are interested and they want to go see your work, how far do they have to travel from here to see where their closest bike park is that you built?
Well, we did one in Powder Ridge. It's a ski resort in Connecticut. That's like a downhill mountain bike park, and it's a jump park and downhill trails. That's only about 2 hours from here. And then we have a lot of parks in like Blue Mountain Ski Resort, which isn't too far from here. That's a downhill park too. I did some trails there and a pump track. Lower Macungie, which is near Allentown, Pennsylvania, we did a pump track there. That's probably the closest stuff, but unfortunately, a lot of my work is like far from home. So we do like Chicago, Colorado. I mean, I did an event in Russia once.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, our stuff's everywhere, and yeah, pretty much it's all coming now. Like everyone in PA is like they're seeing all these parks and they're like, why can't we have that? So it's actually awesome because I'll be able to work from home, hopefully.
That's even better. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, from my personal experience, I purchased a mountain bike about 3 years ago from a local bike shop, Action Bike and Outdoor, who's a big sponsor of all of our events and activities.
Yep.
And TC Crawford, who is the owner of the company, he sold me a beautiful Kona mountain bike.
Nice.
And I've taken it onto the trails. Truth be told, some of our trails were a little gnarly for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can hike the trails and run the trails, but for my mountain bike, my skills aren't there yet.
Okay.
So the pump track is a natural progression for
Yeah.
a guy like me.
Definitely.
And that's going to be built here in the Riverside Park. And you're coming into town soon to make this happen, right?
Yeah, next month. We're middle of next month. We're gonna start. We haven't had an exact start date yet, but
Okay.
just have to work some details, and we'll be here
And about
soon.
how long do you think it takes to build one of these parks?
Between 2 and 3 weeks.
That's it?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, weather permitting. Who knows? Last year was a pretty crazy, rainy. It was a horrible build season for us. Like we were always fighting weather. We actually have to go back to Powder Ridge to finish some of the trails we did in the fall because we never even got a chance to finish them due to the rain. But yeah, hopefully with no bad weather, we'll be done in 2 to 3 weeks.
So 2 to 3 weeks after construction, this thing is ready to go.
Yep.
Just for us as members of the club and our community, what type of maintenance do we expect to have to put onto this?
Well, it's going to be paved, so not much riding surface maintenance. You won't really have to do much of anything besides seal it after a couple of years, and just keep the grass down around it, like just trim it and stuff like that. It's the paved is the way to go for sure, because the dirt pump tracks, you're looking at weekly maintenance, just prepping the surface and fixing rain ruts and all that stuff. But,
And we're excited about this. We remind everyone that on the trails or on the new pump track that's being built, always wear a helmet. Any other protective equipment they should wear?
I mean, you want to start with a helmet for sure. I mean, it's up to the rider really, elbow, knee, stuff like that. Knee pads.
Maybe whole body armor, right?
Yeah, or bubble wrap is
Bubble
perfect.
wrap.
Yeah.
Listen, if they get enough bubble wrap, maybe I'll wrap myself in that.
Oh, yeah.
But Dave, great to have you here today.
Yeah.
Dave King from DirtSculpt. It's coming back into town in the next couple weeks, and you're going to be the guy building our pump track.
Yeah, and we're excited. I mean, it's our first build of the year, so it's it's been a long winter, and we're ready to go, man. This is going to be awesome.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for being with us here today. It's Dave King. He's the owner-operator of DirtSculpt. Check him out online. Check him out on Instagram. What's your name?
Dave King.
No, on Instagram.
On Instagram, DirtSculpt Dave.
DirtSculpt Dave. This is just Tom saying, Dave, thanks so much for being with us.
No problem.
And I can't wait for the pump track to be built. And Dave, thanks so much. And get out there with your shovels and pickaxes and let's get to work.
All right.
Nexix. It's a different kind of logic puzzle. Can you connect the dots? Then Nexix is for you. Author Jeff Marchant, Outdoor Club member, has created a unique and interesting puzzle book meant to challenge your mind. It's called Nexix. It's available online at Amazon. That's Nexix, N-E-X-I-X. Joining me now is the Outdoor Club president, Mike Ward. Mike, boy, that guy's pretty interesting, isn't he?
Oh, yes, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's going to do a great job for us.
Very fascinating. It was so interesting to hear about how he's been all around the country, around the world, in fact,
yeah.
building these things. But maybe you can tell us a little bit more about more of the particulars here, the impact it'll be here for the people of Port Jervis, and all the positiveness that'll come from it.
Yeah, the one thing that Dave didn't really talk about was that this track is intended for bikers from young 2 years old up to 90 years old. You can ride the track. And the whole idea is to have an aerobic exercise on a bike going around this track. It's not a track for tricks. It's not jumping. It's really just riding your bike and exercising on the track and learning how to ride on humps and bumps.
Yeah, and it'll be great to learn how to ride so that then the next step is to go up on the trails and really enjoy yourself.
In fact, what we're going to be doing with the pump track is that's going down by Riverside Park, and along the river in the woods, we're going to have single track trails, a non-destructive single track trail that the kids can learn how to ride in the woods.
So this is perfect. You'll be able to learn how to ride on the pump track, and then maybe you don't have to go all the way up to Point Peter. You can go right there in Riverside Park and go on a single track trail and actually experience it firsthand.
And develop the confidence to be able to go up into the woods, which you really need. And the pump track, to just a back step a bit, is that we have 2 tracks being built.
2 tracks.
2 tracks. One is a beginner track. It's an oval, and that'll teach you how to go over low rollers around the banks. Once you master that as a child or even an adult, master that, then you'll be allowed onto the big track. And then once you're on the big track, in fact, wait, I've got a tricycle for Chip. We were joking about a tricycle, and we're going to try it.
We'll call it the Chipsicle.
The idea is to train the kids on the beginner track, get them on the full track, then go into the woods on the single track trails. And then we will get them as a group. Let's take them up into the real tracks. And we'll start easy. The real trails up there. Once they've learned the tracks, we'll take them up there. They should have more confidence to be able to ride up there on their own.
Now, these tracks that are going to be built will be made of blacktop.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to asphalt them. The original concept was to make it a dirt, but given that we really want this to last a while, it's going to be covered with asphalt, which serves 2 purposes. Number 1, low maintenance. Number 2, we're going to afford the opportunity for skateboarders to use it when on certain occasions, you know.
So it'll be for mountain bikers, kids all ages learning how to ride, adults like me learning how to get better at riding the bike.
Yes.
But then also available at times for people that want to ride skateboards.
That's correct. That's correct. And the reason we need to split it up is so that we don't have any collisions.
No
You
doubt.
know, we don't want people to get hurt. So it will be bikers for an episode and then the skateboarders for another episode. And this could be multiple times during the week or during the day.
And, you know, the skateboarders already have a little bit of a park area in Riverside Park.
They do. And one of the things I talked to John Fagioni about was the fact that if we allow the skateboarders onto the asphalt tracks, then he might one day be able to use that area for another baseball field, for expansion, for entertainment.
Sure.
And then down by the pump track, we can expand even further with it. Right now, we're planning an area that would be almost due east of the track. That's going to be community garden.
Oh, boy. And all of this is being developed right in Riverside Park.
Right in Riverside Park.
Lands right now that are pretty much just, I guess, wilderness, if you will.
It is. It's unused land down there. Ever since the RC group left, they just left asphalt down there. So we're going to carve all that up, use it for the base of these mounds, and go from there.
Well, we've seen economic development in lower Port Jervis, downtown Port Jervis. We're seeing 42 miles plus trail all the way from Point Peter all the way up to the reservoirs. And now we're using land in Riverside Park and creating a place where people can run, come and ride skateboards, come and learn how to master their mountain biking skills, and it all comes back together.
It does. And one of the things about the pump track as well is the fact that we're talking to the various bicycle companies for sponsorships.
Oh, sure.
Allowing them to donate to us bicycles, safety equipment, things like that, and utilize some of the things that are eyesores down here, like the storage container that's down there. We're going to move it, decorate it. That's where we'll store a lot of the gear into so the kids can come out.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great endeavor for all of Port Jervis and the community in general.
And the big key to this, it's not any pennies coming out of the city pocket.
There you go.
We're doing the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis is building this track for the city.
The Outdoor Club has been doing amazing things. Mike, you've been
Right.
been a great president, and we're glad you're the big boss man because you kind of keep us all glued together.
Yeah, but there's a whole group of people, and you know that, Tom. It's a whole group. We've got one outstanding bunch of volunteers in this group that do everything from our fundraisers, like the recent corned beef dinner, They all were out there cooking or putting the foods out or cleaning up or whatever it took to do it. And then there's the other groups that are out there building the trails. And then very shortly, we're starting up with all the activities of maintenance. As what are we calling it? The trails get clean and we get dirty.
That's right.
It's going to be great.
The great thing about the pump track and eventually the 2 tracks down at Riverside Park and eventually the single track trail at Riverside Park is that more and more people will be able to see the efforts of the outdoor club right here in Port Jervis. 42 miles of trail or up on the mountain. But people will be able to see this right here in downtown Port Jervis.
Sure.
More great things coming. President Mike Ward, always a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
All right, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Hello, hikers, bikers, and trail runners. This is Adam Hubbard from the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis Trail Crew. Taking a minute to remind users that as the weather warms and the days get longer, the trails will be wet, muddy, and vulnerable to ruts and erosion. This freeze-thaw cycle, as it's called, takes many weeks to dry out, and much damage to the trails can be sustained during these times. So what's happening during this freeze-thaw cycle? As the cold night temperatures heave the moist soil up, the warm sunny days turn that into a wet, sticky mud. If left unused, the trail will dry out and harden up as normal, and the temperatures regulate. But if tracked up, deep ruts will be left that hold water in and prolong the drying of the trails, as well as leaving the trails unusable for much of the season. So please be mindful of this as you venture out. And remember, early mornings, the ground may be frozen solid and usable, but soon the sun will hit and will soften up, and you will have mud stuck to your feet, to your bike, and that dirt is what we want left on the trails. And don't forget, we have miles of access road, both paved and gravel, that are much more usable at this time. And so go outside and get your fix, but please think twice and save the single track.
After a nice hike on the trails or a bike ride through the watershed park, nothing is more refreshing than a locally crafted beer and a bite to eat. Head over to the Fox and Hare, 46 Front Street in Port Jervis. The Fox and Hare is a small-town brewery and restaurant meant to celebrate great beer, savory food, and wonderful people. The tap room is a welcoming place for all walks of life, whether you're a fox, a hare, or someone that just likes the taste of good beer. Open Wednesday through Sunday. For handcrafted beer and food, it's the Fox and Hare. Give them a call. 845-672-0100. The Fox and Hare has been a proud supporter of the Outdoor Club of Port Jervis since they opened their doors.
Hi everyone, Chip here with today's segment known as Chip Here, Chip Gear. What exactly is Chip Here, Chip Gear? That is me to tell you. It is all about what's in my backpack. That's right, in my backpack. When I'm hiking, you want to know, so I'm going to tell you. And joining me today is Director of Activities for the Outdoor Club, Robbie Torn.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. So we're going to go with what's in my backpack, Robbie. I'm going to start, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first item in my backpack is always a first aid kit. Why? Just in case something happens, you need it to respond to an emergency, skin a knee, break the skin, do anything like that, you need an emergency first aid kit. Good thing to have. Second item is a multi-tool. A multi-tool, what is it, you say? Well, a multi-tool is just what it says, multi-purpose tool. It cuts, it has a screwdriver, it has pliers on it. It's very handy for things that might occur out there in the woods. Next item, summer sausage for a snack, some hard-boiled eggs. I have an apple, I have a banana, I have some Slim Jims and some peanuts. And I also have, Robbie, what's most important?
Hydration.
Hydration. I have water always with me while I'm hiking out in the watershed. Why? Because hydration is key when you're on a hike. Also in my pack, I have a nice, cozy pair of dry socks, just in case the socks I'm wearing get wet. Right, Robbie? Good to have a nice, dry pair of socks. No, I won't ask you to feel my socks. So what I do is I put all this in this backpack right here. New York Giants, of course, the best team in the world. Why are you shaking your head, Robbie?
We don't want to talk about the Giants right now.
Why?
Let's just continue with the segment.
Yes, let's do the segment continuing on. So listen, folks, very important also is a cell phone to have with you while you're out there in the watershed park. Cell service does work within the watershed park. We get that question a lot. Why do you need a cell phone? In case you're in an emergency situation and you need to contact emergency services, they will come out and attend to you. Or if you feel lost, you can give them a call as well, and they'll help you through that. I'm lost often, right, Robbie?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. But anyway, very important, a cell phone and a first aid kit, and bring the snacks with you and hydration. These are important items to have with you while on a hike, and as a hiking guide, you want to have these items with you. So that's today's segment. Chip here, Chip gear. Look for the next one soon. If you are interested in becoming a member, contact me at 845-288-3165 or go to our website, ocopj.org, or my email, chip@ocopj.org.
And that's going to do it for another episode of the Weekly Trail Report. Of course, we couldn't do it without our good friends, Ravi. Thanks, Ravi.
Thank you.
And man, this show is nothing without the guy himself, Chip, right?
Thanks,
for
Tom.
sure.
No doubt about it. We also want to thank the club president and the director, the guy hitting all the right buttons. Of course, that's Mike Ward. Thank you, Mike, for all that you do to put this show together. And we want to thank all you, our listeners and fans out there. And we remind you, get outside and enjoy the beauty that is right here in our backyards.